Coastal Catastrophe. After Gordon's incident with the Express, the Fat Controller chose Henry to pull it while Gordon was at the works being mended. Henry reveled in this opportunity. He raced down the main line of the cool sea breeze across his boiler, and the passengers singing his praises through the coaches. This praise made Henry very conceited and very cocky. One morning, the day Gordon was returning, Henry was at the sheds, boasting as usual. "I'm such a grand engine indeed," he said to James. "I don't know what the Fat Controller would ever do about me. I am single-handedly keeping this railway alive." "What about the goods work?" said James. "The express doesn't always matter." "Yes, it does," as Henry snorted. "It doesn't. It does." Yes. All right, you two, calm down. "James, you have a local passenger train to take. Go collect it," said Edward. James said nothing more. He just glared at Henry as he puffed away. "There's no need to be rude to him," said Edward. But he "Shut up, Edward," and Henry said. "No one asked for your opinion. You are irrelevant. Just go back and collect soot and dust in the back of the shed like you did back in the early days." Edward was appalled. He was just about to yell back when Henry bellowed a massive amount of steam, and he puffed away, leaving Edward fuming furiously. Henry backed down onto his coaches that day. The passengers clambered in, and the guard blew his whistle. Henry soon puffed away, still feeling very cocky from the compliments. The journey went smoothly at first. Henry was keeping a good pace, and the passengers were enjoying the ride. I'm sorry to say this would all change up the line. Just before Tidmouth, there is a stretch of line. On that stretch of line is the junction into Duck's branch line, or more commonly known as the Little Western. Every engine knows to stop before, so Duck or Oliver could pass by with their train, as they were always at the junction before the mainline entrance. I'm sorry to say, no one thought to warn Henry about this, as he wasn't aware at the time. Henry raced down the main line as fast as he could, trying to keep the time, but this would ultimately lead to something catastrophic. As Henry made it onto the straight, he realized what he was doing. "Stop! Stop!" yelled Henry, but it was too late. He was diverted along the Little Western. Henry raced through the Tidmouth Tunnel and ended up on the coastal line. Up ahead there was a runaway siding. Henry blew his whistle furiously to attract the signalman's attention. "Point! Point!" The signalman quickly switched the point, and Henry was diverted into a siding. There was a loud crash. Henry opened his eyes to find himself dazed and surprised and off the rails. He was going so fast he had smashed straight through the buffers. Only one coach had derailed, while the others had stayed on the rails. Henry looked down at his buffers, feeling very foolish and very upset. He had lost one of his buffers during the impact, and had a massive bruise on his cheek. Gordon was at Tidmouth when the station master came to inform him what happened. "Henry's had an accident," he said, "and the express is stranded on the Little Western. Can you please go and help?" "Certainly, sir," said Gordon. He was determined to pay Henry out. When Gordon arrived, he found Henry sulking. Well, shortened Gordon. "It seems as if you do need some help, little Henry." "Shut up," said Henry angrily. Oh, well, we live and learn, said Gordon, and delightfully. Henry said nothing more, as Gordon pulled the coaches back on the rails and took the train on. He soon came to collect Henry. When he returned to the shed, the Fat Controller was waiting. I am most disappointed with you, Henry. You should know better than to race along on the main line without paying attention. Because of you, you've delayed the express by a significant amount and damaged yourself in the process. You shall be assigned to shunting when you return from the works, until I can trust you on the main line. Understand? Yes, sir. But who will take my goods trains? Or do my work? Murdoch shall manage, as I load another engine from the other railway to do his work while Murdoch does your work. And as for you, Gordon, and you wouldn't mind taking the express again, wouldn't you? Oh, yes, sir, I'd be delighted to, said Gordon delightfully. Very well, you shall resume tomorrow. Thank you, sir, said Gordon grandly. The next day, Gordon resumed his express work as usual. He was delighted. As for Henry, well, he came back from the works, and it was a long week of shunting for him before he can go back to work like normally. He started to wish he hadn't teased Gordon.